Good thing the trigger lock wasn't on. Morning, folks. Today we're going to be doing some maintenance on this here Delac & Becker cordless drill. I believe this one's from 1994. My dad bought it in 1994 from Canadian Tire for $34. And this thing has had its fair share of abuse over the years, and it just keeps going, but it doesn't run very well. You see, these old drills were very cheaply made. They kind of remind me of GM vehicles. You know, there's a saying that GM vehicles, you know, they'll run for shit longer than most vehicles will run at all. And the same goes for this drill. This drill has been running like shit for my entire life, but it's still running. As you can see, the key got lost a couple times, so it was tightened down with vice grips, and that didn't quite end well. You know, doesn't move very smoothly. Could use some oil. This is a 10mm drill, by the way. I think this is a 3/8 if you're living over in the States. It's the most popular drill in the world. Everybody's got one of these. They're usually different colors, but everybody's got one of these. Or if you don't, you've definitely seen it at the thrift store. Yep. Oh yeah, this one's got a the forward reverse switch has kind of fallen in. That's the whole reason I'm even opening this in the first place, is because I'm using this as like a cement mixer right now for some tile mortar. And you know, it'd be nice to be able to reverse it while mixing. I've got one of those corkscrew style. This is definitely not the right drill for the job, by the way. But yeah, I've got one of those corkscrew style cement mixers, and it would be nice to reverse it every now and then to take the water that's on top when you pour it in and kind of push it down, but you know, I digress. The trigger's also kind of worn out. The bearings in this they're in really bad shape by the sound of it. This, so much rolling resistance. These do have they have bronze sleeve bushings, which is awful, but you know, in this kind of application, absolutely awful. All the dust that goes in goes straight through that bearing, abrades the shaft, and then it doesn't fit very well anymore, and you get this noise. Oh, it's not doing it now. Of course not. The camera's running. There you go. That hideous noise. Oh, by the way, I should have mentioned, I've got two of them, and I'm going to be doing some maintenance on both of them. This one's connected to a shit snake. Looks like a rejected Call of Duty Black Ops Wonder Weapon for zombies. Call this the shit stir. So yeah, we're going to be opening both of these today. In fact, I'm too lazy to get a screwdriver, so I might use this one to open this one. So I've got a universal chuck key for this thing. This is absolutely awful. This is made out of pure Chinesium. First time I tried using it, tooth chipped right off of it. Then I realized I was using the wrong one, so I went to this one. Or maybe it was this one. It doesn't matter. The point is the teeth got chipped off of all of these, and it didn't even tighten the chuck. So it's zip tied to the cord. This is not the original cord, by the way. Oh, and we're going to be dealing with this, make some kind of strain relief, because this keeps happening. It's like the 5th time the cord's been replaced. This one's missing it too. It's a weak point on these things, the strain relief. But yeah, I zip tied it to the cord, just probably cut it off and throw it in the trash. The original one's got to be here somewhere. The original one wasn't great either though. So yeah, let's get on with it. Let's get on with it. Works fine on this one, guess on the account of the chuck not being mangled. This one, by the way, I got this from the flea market like 10 years ago for 15 bucks. I think this one has a short in one of the armature windings, but it still runs fine. I mean, it just shoots a lot of sparks, but it's still been working okay. So this one's in better shape despite that. Oh god, I hope that brown stuff isn't shit from this. Oh god. Oh, I hate plumbing. Ever mention that? I hate plumbing? Well, now you know. Also, the shit stirrer here has got a, it's not the original plug. It's not even the original cord. Neither of these have the original cord on them. It came from some other power tool. Really good cord. Nice, flexible, doesn't harden in the winter. But this plug, it came from like an iron, like a clothes iron, and it's got, yeah, that's a problem. We're going to have to address that. This thing is such a pain in the ass to plug in. I'll see if I have another plug or if we can't fix this. I'm too lazy to go get the right screwdriver, so I'm just going to do this. I'm going to use one to take apart the other, and then once we fix it, I'm going to use the other to take apart this one. Now, these might have been cheap drills, but I'm going to argue that they are a lot better than today's drills. And I know that's controversial because today's drills have, you know, torque. And on top of having torque, they have ball bearings. They're more efficient, they don't run as hot. Although in my experience, they do run hotter. Just 3 screws to open the whole thing. I hope this is unplugged. Yeah, okay, it is. Also, the trigger is really sticky on this, so I gotta deal with that. I'm using it as a cement mixer. It's such a pain in the ass with that. And the trigger lock doesn't work very well because it's all gummed up. There we go. This has been opened many times. There's the switch. Oh, it looks broken. Hang on. Something doesn't look right there. I hope that's not broken. Otherwise, I'm going to have to go to the thrift store and spend another 10 bucks on another one of these drills. Oh, it's another screw in there. There we go. There's the gearbox. It's the motor. Armature. I hope I don't break those brushes doing this. Oh, yikes. Oh, those brushes are getting short. That's like almost end of life. Look how far out that sticks. There's that little thing that goes, the little baffle, the air baffle. Armature in this thing, you can see sleeve bearings both sides. That side doesn't look too bad. That side doesn't look too bad either. We'll polish up that commutator and put it back in. Yeah, these are epoxied together, these windings, so that they don't break apart. You know, it might be cheaply made, but, you know, this outlasted every other corded drill I've had, so is it really that poorly made? Yes, it is, but, you know, potato, potato. Like, you know that JobMate drill I did a video on a while ago where I burnt it out? That pile of junk. First week I was using it, the trigger burnt out. It only had a single speed. It wasn't variable anymore. It was either full speed or nothing. Then the end pinion broke off. These are straight cut gears, by the way. This is a double reduction thing. See, chuck spins in the same direction as the motor shaft. Seems like the fan's been hitting there, unless that was me just now. Seems like this is missing a thrust washer or something. There's no reason that should be touching. There's nothing to stop it from floating that way, except maybe the magnetic field. Oh, gearbox is open. Oh, this is really lacking grease. There's the one thrust bearing there. Oh, that grease smells magnificent. No, it smells terrible. At least they used metal gears. The front bushing, it's not too wallered out. Okay, maybe a bit, but that's not too bad. Motor windings, they've been hot. They've seen a lot of hot suppers. These were never meant to come apart. Yeah, these aren't epoxied together. If you look at like Makita drills, or I know they're grinders, they epoxy the field windings together. Not with this thing, no sir. What is holding this in? Oh, you probably gotta do something with that. I don't remember it being this annoying to take apart before. There we go, it was just jammed in there really tight. That looks broken, that's not good. I'm not going to be able to fix that. I'm probably going to have to replace the switch. And that looks like where that little thing went. Yep, that's not going to be fixed today, no sir. Let's see if I can add my own switch somewhere. Maybe like a tiny one on the back over here. forward reverse. Don't know what I'm going to do about the strain relief either. The carbon brushes, I don't know when they wear out. I guess that's the end of this. I don't really feel like looking for more. Looks like they've just barely got enough meat on them. Hang on. Yeah, they're almost done. Oh. Let's look at the bushing. This is probably the one that's making all that noise. It's pretty wallered out, but you know, we'll put some oil in there. I found this switch. This switch is rated for 5 amps. Rated for 5 amps at 120 volts, which is what we're running. And the original switch in here is, it's rated, where did it say? It said somewhere 4 amps. It's rated 4 amps. So this should be plenty, this tiny little thing. Now it doesn't have a trigger lock on it or anything, but whatever, I don't really care. It's my drill. And unfortunately, I'm actually out of solder, so I can't do this today. So for now, I'm just going to clean it, oil the bearings, because they were giving me trouble. And I'll put it back together. And maybe I'll just use this one for now. This one's actually fine, so maybe I'll use this for now. In fact, I don't think I have to open this up for maintenance. This one, the bearings sound fine. And it even spins a lot more freely, way more freely than this one did. So we'll just oil this, put it back together, and call it a day. Also, just wanted to let you, something interesting. So, remember how I said there needs to be a spacer here? The fan is like touching the housing. You can kind of hear it rubbing. You can see rub marks. So, hey, here's something interesting. I took the fan off before. And then there's the washer, the shim washer. I think it's worn thin. It looks like there's 2 washers here, actually. One of them... Fucking hell, it doesn't focus very good, does it? Not sure if this is the correct procedure for oiling these Oil-Lite bronze bushings, but this is the way I do it. I get a heat gun, and I heat up the part until it's nice and hot. I should really... I need pliers. Hang on. Got him. So I'm only going to be doing the center bushing, the one which the main motor pinion rides in. The other ones are they're in pretty good shape. They spin quite a bit slower, and they've got grease flinging around in there. Grease doesn't really seem to reach the main pinion. It's all dry, and you can see that the teeth are a little bit chewed up. There's definitely signs of wear on the very tip. That's probably hot enough. And then take some good old sewing machine oil. Put it right on the bearing. And in my experience, heating it up usually makes it kind of... Oops. Ah, fuck, hot. That was a bad idea. Everything about that was stupid. That feels a lot better now. Put some more on it like that for good measure. The bushing is a little bit wallered out, so it'll make its way. It'll make its way in there. That feels a lot better than it did before. That's way better. Yep. That'll do. Also, don't do this when it's on the gearbox, because I believe this is plastic. It'll probably melt it. Whee! For the rear bushing, I'm going to use the heat gun on low, and I'm going to be careful because there's plastic and a bunch of wires here. Going to try to focus it through those vents. probably good enough. Don't want to go too hard on this since this is plastic after all. Put some oil in there. Stick the back end in here just to, yeah, it feels pretty good. That should be good. Let's put it all back together. By the way, this baffle, I don't know why this is so warped. I don't know whether this is because of heat or age or what, but it's pretty, that might be what was making that noise earlier. It'll be fine. Maybe I have this in backwards. Is it like, does it go in like this? No, must be like this. We'll find out. Gotta pull the brushes back in order to get the armature back in. Oh my god, there really isn't much left. Really not much left. I don't know if you can even get these anymore, but if you can, I'm definitely not buying them. This drill is done for. This drill has seen so many hot suppers in its day, and it's been put away wet every single time. Well, it's been ridden hard and put away wet. Is that hot glue? That must have been me that did that, but why would I do that? Must have done that years ago when I was a kid. This has been opened up before because it always gets that awful bearing noise and it always needs to be dealt with. Because it gets too sticky and then, you know, the drill just doesn't run very effectively anymore. It doesn't spin as fast as it did. It gets hot faster. Like I said, runs like shit, longer than most drills will run at all. Nope, I think the brush is still in there. I don't feel like dealing with that hot glue. Why did I do that? I was going to polish the commutator, but I really don't give a shit at this point after seeing the state of the whole thing. Not worth the effort, in my opinion. And you know, I go through some pretty extreme efforts to save some worthless tools. There, I dealt with the hot glue. Oh, god damn it. I forgot about the baffle. Oh, good thing I discovered it early. Put that back in there. There we go. That feels awful. Just as God intended. Just as Black & Decker intended. Oh, come on. That's my fault. I should have been paying more attention. Pop that back out again. And that's another thing. If you bend this back and forth enough times, the metal fatigue will cause it to break off. So that's another way this tool is not meant to last forever. It doesn't have proper brush holders or brush retainers. I can already kind of feel the metal fatigue sinking in. Let's bend that back. What happened to the other brush? Am I gonna have to sit through and watch this whole video again to find it? Oh, god damn it! Nah! Son of a slippery whore. That's where we're hiding the whole time. Okay, well, let's put the armature back in for the 9th time. I swear to god this brush holder is gonna break off and finish the drill off right here. Okay, well, you know what they say, 9th time's the charm. Put that in. This thing faces this way. Push that down against the cardboard so it doesn't come out. God, this is truly awful. You know, one thing I love doing is taking old tools, old appliances, and giving them a refresh, you know. Almost lost my armature again. Giving them a refresh, giving them a nice restart at life again, giving them a paint job, polishing them up, cleaning everything, cleaning the motor, giving them new brushes. But this is not one of those tools, I'll tell you that. You know, like I might be a collector of shit. Oh god damn it, I didn't have the armature in all the way. I thought I did. I guess not. Okay. I feel that brush holder is getting very weak now. And it broke off. Now what? So it looks like even this brush holder has a crack in it. I don't know why. I mean, it has been opened up before to lube the bearings, and from what I remember, it just kind of all fell apart on its own because these are very poorly thrown together. But anyways, that looks like that's pretty much the end of this one. I don't think this can really be fixed. The other brush holder, the one where the tab snapped off, that one was completely broken underneath too. So, I mean, I could solder it, but it's really just not worth it. Like, I've got this one runs fine, this one runs great. Way better than this one ever did. So, I think I'll just keep parts from this, because this one's got the mangled chuck anyways. I really hated this one. It lasted a good long time, ran like shit forever, but, you know, this is one of the things I don't really feel bad about losing, so it's just too many things wrong with it, man. So also let this be a lesson to anybody who's thinking of opening up their tools and cleaning them. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, because this might happen. But honestly, if you have a better quality tool, like I've got an old skill saw, I've taken that apart and I've polished the commutator on it, I've oiled all the bearings, I've re-greased, I've repacked the gearbox with grease. That thing still runs fine. In fact, that might be next maintenance Monday. I might be doing the other one because I've got two of them, two almost identical units. So anyways, I think I'll keep this for parts. This one's got a good armature, or I get a good armature out of this, just in case the one in this burns out from all the cement mixing it's going to be doing. This trigger, I mean, the forward reverse switch is bad, but this part is good, so maybe I'll keep that. Bushings, yeah, I mean, that one's bad, but these two are good, so who knows, maybe if that one gets worse than this one, worse for wear, keep that. This can go in the garbage, I don't really need this. So, oh, interesting, it looks like there's kind of a hot spot there. I don't know if it'll show up on camera, but you know that little rainbow colored glow you get on, or reflective whatever you get on metal when it overheats? Looks like this has been a victim of that. Not a surprise. You know, I've heard people say that these drills burn out easily, but in my experience that's not true. Like, this thing mixing such heavy cement for like hours, this thing didn't give up. It was getting a little warm, but not really. And weirdly enough, the gearbox was getting warmer than the motor. Keep these gears and the thrust bearing in there. So yeah, I'll just keep this as a basket case of parts. It's just, this thing, just too many issues, man. Finally, this thing is granted the sweet release of death. I mean, this wasn't my intention. This was supposed to be running fine by the end of this video, but you know, sometimes things don't always go the way they're planned, and you know, that armature falling out and me having to bend that tab back and forth is what finished this one off, and yeah, that's my fault. But honestly, I'm gonna also blame Black & Decker. Like, come on, man. There must be a better way to secure a carbon brush. Not like that. Like, come on. Do what Makita did. Do what everybody else did. Anyways, thanks for watching.